enhancement fund. It would just take a lot of time. DJ?
What are the
Yeah, really just the hazards of, I would say you kind of covered it, just general training. Right now, the bike app already tells you, and on the bikes themselves, they say wear a helmet, follow the laws, like that. There's some educational component. Yeah. Right. No, so that's what's nice about the way they designed the e-assist. It's not actually like even momentum building. I'm not an engineer. I don't really get how it works, but I got to test ride them, and it's all torque based. As soon as you stop pushing the pedals forward, the assist component is done. And yeah, like once you get on and start pedaling, then it's proportional to. So the harder you pedal, the faster you can go. That way, if you're going up a hill, you can barely breathe.
I don't think it's her. Katie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, all right, thanks. I was just going to ask about like the membership aspect of it, because if the bikes, like if it is different bikes are different costs, then you've got a membership on the vehicle, right? Like a bike.
Yeah, and I think they would have separate memberships for users, and wouldn't be able. If you've seen the app, there's a little teal bike sign, and it looks like Google Maps or Google Earth. For the e-assist, there's an electric biking bolt. So if you didn't have a membership for that bike, you wouldn't be able to. But you could purchase it at the regular rate, or you could.
What about the
7-speed would be the same. Yes, ma'am.
What is the policy on getting on?
Right, so that is also a nice, fun process to work on the university. But there's already a preset list of vendors and companies that have been approved by the university for the products they sell, the paperwork that we have on file for them, for example. Like some chickens, I think I used them because I saw them at the soup station. I figured, Josh had vetted them and they've been approved to be on campus. So I think, Josh would be a great resource for that to say, here's all the people, but, we don't have to. Yeah, there's a policy in place. And would that be with Paul or Lee, you think, in purchasing?
I think that's for sponsorships.
Advancement? Okay. Yeah, but if that's something that you're interested in, at least learning more about, you can contact me and I'll get you in touch with people. Thank you guys very much. Have a
All right, so it would seem the other speakers are not here tonight, probably for various reasons. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next part of our agenda, which is officer report. So I'll go first. For those of you who I haven't met or I'm seeing for the first time, I'm Savannah, and I'll just tell you a little bit about SGA and about what I do. Obviously, I lead these meetings, and I work with this wonderful team up here. And SGA is a really, really awesome opportunity. I'm really excited to see this room so full and to see all the people that ran and went out there and are interested in doing more for this campus. And as student government, we strive to be some of the best students on campus and to go out and find ways to make UT Tyler the best possible place to learn and live and work. And that's the most important thing when we're in this room, is to think about our peers and about our campus and about what's going to make the best possible impact. And so I'm really, really glad to get going this year with you guys. And I think that's all I have. Vice President Higgins.
Hey everybody, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Katie. My job as vice president is to plan events and so the execution of those events as well. But having been on the SGA executive board for 2 years now, I kind of help out wherever it's needed and I have my hands. So this week I was out of town but I will be on finalizing everything for tomorrow. Following the scientific tomorrow. If you've heard of it, great. If not, I'm about to tell you. It's the Rock the Vote event. It's going to be down on the deck between 4 and 6 o'clock with the name tag for at the beginning of the meeting. Wear those tomorrow. Also, be sure to go to Student Affairs before 4 o'clock tomorrow to get a Rock the Vote t-shirt. Well, I'm wearing t-shirts and tags. We're going to be there meeting students who are people, and just telling them about what you do in student government and how you can present to students. So that's tomorrow. It's mandatory. If you can't make it, ideally you would have already turned in an absence form, but you can still turn one in and that's on the Canvas page for those. On the training. Yeah. I don't know if you're for those numbers. Yeah. So Midnight Breakfast was last week. I know a number of people were there. We had over 300 students, right? 323, I think was the exact number. So that was a pretty successful event. We had faculty come and serve food for the students, so that was really fun. It's usually all the centers do it. So it was nice to have them there. They were super enthusiastic. So super appreciative for them for that. We also did an early voting booth, and we had over 100 people vote at that booth, so that was very successful as well. I believe we ended up having one of the highest voter turnouts in the fall election. Is that correct? That ended up being correct? We end up having one of the highest voter turnouts in the fall election? Yeah. So usually the spring elections bring out more votes because the officers. But so for a fall election, we had a great turnout this year, so we're proud of that. And yeah, just overall, it was really successful. We had a lot of confidence from the students and faculty that were, and we're going to be doing it again in the spring. So we're all using that. And then I just mentioned a little bit about training. So that's going to be next Saturday, the 29th. And we can mark that date down as well. It's going to be a kind of a full day thing almost. So mark your calendars and plan for that. We're going to be doing training and kind of like a retreat style event from 9 to 1. And then we're going to do a service project. It's going to be a cleanup event from 1 to 3. So be prepared for that. If for a fact that you can't make it, make sure you fill out an absence form. But we would love to see all of your faces there because that's going to be a really integral factor to us having an efficient SGA here. So that's all I did. Secretary Seeley.
Hi everyone, Braylon. I'm the secretary, and basically what I do is I'm in charge of the committee and also the social media component. So I've been having a hard time and my phone just broke. So I guess I logged into Twitter and Instagram too many times on 3 different devices. So right now I'm locked out, but I have some emails going back and forth with Twitter and Instagram, and we're working on it. I'll get on there and hopefully get Rock the Vote on there tonight. I made your cute little name tags, so please wear them. Oh, you can come to my office in UC 3400. It's upstairs in my membership, and you can get an SGA t-shirt.
Treasurer McCall.
Hey y'all, my name is Jacob. I'm the treasurer. This is my second year serving as treasurer. And so what I do, I'm over the budget, and I'm also the chair of the education here for the fest. And so this week, I just been setting up my I've been helping the rest of the team together our training plan. And I that feel updated, and also I help spread the word about Rock Hope. So I'm very on to that tomorrow. It's a happy day. And that's all I got.
Hey y'all, I'm Sean Copeland. I am the parliamentarian and I am in charge of election for both fall and spring. And I'm also in charge of making sure that rules are followed and dress code is worn to whatever is required. I'm also this year in charge of senator projects, so if you have any ideas or anything that you might want done on campus, then come visit with me. We'll see what can be done and what. And this past week, I've been focused on elections, make sure that all the new senators were able to get here, get on campus, and here you are.
So the next section is student voice reports. This is your opportunity. We'll have 3 sort of constituencies each week. Have an opportunity to talk about specific things that are going on in your department and get some feedback from us, from our advisor, on how to go with that, whether it be how to handle a concern or how to amplify something that's going well. So this week we have the College of Arts and Sciences.
Yeah, I talked with a lot of students, particularly in my major, which is English. Almost all of my classes are in the College of Arts and Science building. So most of the people that I talked to said they'd like a new building or a real building or something to speed up the construction that's going on there. There were some minor complaints about like custodial issues that I just accepted and said, okay, I'll talk to custodians, like the mirrors in the bathroom or never having paper towels in the bathroom. Those were the 2 biggest complaints. Again, that's not really something that SGA does, but I just thought I'd bring it up since they brought it up to me. Something a little bit larger than that goes with the classes and the coursework, and I don't know if that is within SGA's work. But the English majors particularly complained of not having enough options for classes. It doesn't, and it might be true to other majors as well, but not having enough classes that work for students who work full time. They said that they only have a certain time to take certain classes. There are hardly any that are offered online, hardly any that are offered at night. So that was an issue. The vending machines in the College of Art and Science building, their card readers don't work.
As far as I know, with the custodial issues, we have switched recently to Service Solutions. So they may not have ironed out everything that goes with our entire campus as a whole, but the best contact for letting them know that there is an issue would be, Andy Krause. And that would just be if you want to email him, it's AKROUS @KROUS. Just let him know those things are happening, and he can address that with them. And that would be the same thing for Betty. It would be the same point of contact. And then the class offerings, that's something we hear a lot, and something that can be brought up to most likely Dr. Mamran. He's our provost, and so he can assess those options and those offerings, and the professors work with as well. So his contact is A. Mamran, MIR. MIR. Yeah, that's the one. I totally forgot how to spell it for a second. So sorry. Exactly. Yeah, it is. I don't know what it is. Okay, so is that all for CAS? All right. Next is nursing and health sciences. Daniel. or Senator Nagarajan on?
Yeah. So I have a few nursing friends that I talk to on nursing building at, and I to like class SJ too, but it's hard. They don't even show classes. They don't like I heard that a lot because they start they're like very hard on them. And parking, and the other one. Third. There's something. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, speak up. The Zoom, the speaker is right here, and they have a hard time hearing you if you don't talk very loud. Don't have great speakers, sorry. Sandia, do you have anything for nursing and health sciences?
Yes. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I've talked to a couple of my nursing friends last week, and I have like two things to say for this week. The first one is that a lot of the nursing students were kind of inspired by Career Day, and they were wondering if we could try to do something similar to that, but just for like nursing specialties. So I haven't gotten an opportunity to talk with my counselor yet, but I will get on that as soon as I get to school. And another thing is that the admissions office in the nursing building, they're giving out like denial letters when that student has actually been accepted based on the requirements given. And so I'm going to have to talk to the Dean of Nursing about that to see what we can do, because there's a lot of students that are kind of upset with their outcomes. And I've just heard a lot of past stories. So I'm going to talk to my counselor and hopefully the dean about this like next week.
Senator Nagarajan, also, Josh, please correct me if I'm wrong, but Dr. Rosemary Cooper planned and executed the Career Success Conference. And so if nursing was serious about doing something similar for their college, she might be a good contact for figuring out the best way to go about doing that. She's done it on such a large scale already.
Can y'all put the Zoom or their contact in the Zoom chat?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Nursing and Health Sciences. Finally, yeah, sure. Hannah, I'm sorry, what's your mom's email? There's no numbers. Yeah. Okay. So lastly, we have College of Engineering, but I totally understand both of y'all are new and getting a feel for this. So I totally give y'all a pass tonight if you want to pass.
Well, there are two concerns.
Oh, I love it.
The first one was elevator issues in RBN, not working properly, or people just stopping them and talking to each other on the second floor, the third floor. So we have people waiting on the fourth floor for them. That's one issue, and the second issue is again parking. We have complaints from O Hall, like people from Ornelas Hall, going to RBN, like the engineering parking space, not finding parking space, and then going back to sleep. So they miss their class because there is no parking space. That's all.
I mean, technically, students from O Hall shouldn't be driving to the RBN anyhow.
Yeah.
They could take a bike.
Or they could walk.
Yes, or they could walk. And as far as parking issues in general,
yeah.
I understand that the buildings themselves fill up really quickly. But the police department and campus security survey the parking lots throughout the day. And according to them, there is a large number of spots available in the parking garage and auxiliary parking lot at any given time in the day. There is even up to triple digits worth of empty parking spaces anytime on campus. It may not be in front of your building. You might have to walk a minute, but it is there. So I think that's the best advice we can give students is get here a little bit early and be willing to walk or ride a bike. And the elevator, that's it. That's also probably Andy Krause. He is the man in facilities. He's the one. So, yes. Thank you. It's not on the agenda, but it will be from now on. We'll also have a follow-up. So when it's your week to give a student voice report and we give you these contact information or these ideas for how to handle what you're talking about, the next week is your opportunity to follow up and kind of talk about, was that issue resolved? Did you get in contact, or was that contact information not successful? And so last week we had the Souls College of Business. So any follow-ups from you guys?
So the stuff that we spoke about is, I think, sure, later on, with no further follow-up.
Also, student body at large.
That's really the
And finally, Houston campus, Senator Schenkel.
It's been a really busy week. We had a lot of exams this week, so I haven't had a chance. Our first general meeting for ASCE is tomorrow. We went to the student leadership event where they kind of told us how to like fundraise and, you know, get more money in our school. So we're gonna work on that, but as of now, I haven't really had time to do anything. I'm so busy.
I understand. Senator Schenkel, I did want to mention that your concern last week about the computer lab, they have been voiced to IT here as well as some members of the president's cabinet, and they're looking into the best way to get some more resources there to you guys and to take care of your computer lab issue. It's just not something that can be turned around and resolved in 1 week. But we did hear you, and it is being worked on from here.
That's awesome. I will tell everybody, and they'll be excited. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. So next on the agenda is committee reports. We do have 4 standing committees here in SGA, and I can do that now. Yes. New business? Okay. Just kidding. What I was about to say? So we'll just take this opportunity to briefly discuss what are these committees and what they've sort of been working on this last week, beginning with Student Life, chaired by Vice President.
Hey, that's me. Okay, I'm looking for, I have a sign-up sheet somewhere in here for it. But my committee pretty much helps me. Yeah, we'll do that. So the Student Life Committee is in charge of helping me plan events. We didn't meet this week, but we met last week. And I kind of want to just as I want to brainstorm some more smaller SGA to be involved in, to just increase our presence. A couple of really big events at the beginning of the semester, and then it kind of like tapers off after that. And so I want to have my committee members help me keep a voice of make sure that students aren't forgetting that we're here and that. My committee meets on Mondays at 11:30. We will not be meeting next week, but we'll have almost I'll let you guys know. But if you're available Mondays at 11:30, then.
Next is Communications Committee, chaired by Secretary Seeley.
So basically what my committee does, they help me with communicational things. I don't know what to call it. But like social media, you'll help me create digital flyers. If you've seen, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. right now. Got your phone. If you don't already follow us. Instagram is SGA_UT Tyler. And then Twitter is just UT Tyler SGA. It should have our logo on it as a profile picture. And please like and retweet our things. That's how students know what we're doing. Very important. But also you'll help me like name tags or the name places that we have. This week we actually made some thank you mugs filled with SGA tag for the faculty and staff that helped out serve at midnight breakfast. And they were very appreciative, and that made me like SGA, and you like that. So tell me, mine are Monday or Wednesday at 10 o'clock in my office.
Next is Student Government Appropriations Committee, better known as SGAC. It's chaired by Treasurer McLeod.
Yeah, so I'm the treasurer, chair of the committee. So what we do is we have to enter that funding request for their event for the meeting. Each student participation $500 a semester. So we can the body. So that's a lot of fun. Also, I think that we look at the budget. So I think every of the two and use the one of the conference room.
And our last set of committee is Rules Committee and Student Affairs Committee, both of which they're kind of together, but they are chaired by Tom Chancellor.
So first off, on the Rules Committee, that committee is mostly focused on elections, making sure that they're getting off the ground, that people are campaigning correctly. So this past week, we went over the ballot. There's just some numbers out there. We had 339 people vote total throughout the 2 days. And then at midnight breakfast alone, we had 109, which was a really great turnout just for a fall election. And so next is the Student Affairs Committee. That one is also chaired by us, or by me, and it has the same people in it as the Rules Committee because they do meet at the same time. Student Affairs is mostly focused on issues that the students have brought forward and trying to get SGA to create a policy or enact a policy to help further the student success. So this past week we were focused on the SGA emails and sending out student body-wide emails. And next week we're going to start writing it. This week was mostly just planning. So we do meet on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. in UC 3410. You can come, please come. We'd love your input on student body-wide email.
I know it's going to be hard to kind of remember those times or maybe remember your whole schedule all at once. So we're going to put a quiz up on Canvas where you can select the committee that you want to join. So, what? Yes, and part of being an SGA is being on a committee. So make sure you do that and make sure you're showing up to those committees. They'll get you if you don't, and the absence policy will get you if you don't. And you don't want that because Braylon brought donuts to her first committee meeting and no one showed up and she was very sad. So, props to her committee. And so, next on our agenda, we're going to move into old business. Do we have any old business? One. Why? All right. Looks like we're moving on to new business. New business is part of our agenda where we're going to work on action items. We're going to make motions and go forward with things that are so. And so the first thing that I'm going to bring into new business is that I will be officially now instating an ad hoc committee for this school year, the sidewalk committee, that will be working closely with our, what is Jerry Stuff's exact title? VP of Operations, that's the one, Vice President of Operations, Jerry Stuff, as well as working with the city of Tyler to advocate for some additional sidewalks in the areas surrounding the university that will benefit the community and the students that live near the university. This committee will be chaired by our very own Macy Ann Williams, Senator for Education and Technology. And if you're interested in being a part of that committee, you can get a lot more information from Macy Ann and Secretary Steely. They've been working on this very diligently this past week. And you can join that committee as one of your selections and get going on that very important issue for this year. All right. I would like to open Senator Williams.
Motion to propose and vote on a senator project.
It's been motioned and seconded to propose and vote on a senator project. Senator Williams, you have
Can I go out there?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I will close your mic.
Hi everyone. Let me pull up my PowerPoint.
Yes.
I'm Macy Ann Williams. I'm one of the senators for the School of Education and Psychology. This is my second year on student government. Hopefully I sent it right.
Okay, while they're doing this, I am gonna just give a little bit of instruction because I know about half of our room tonight has never done this before. So during a new business item, during a new business motion, try and remember what the motion actually states. And you can raise your hand, ask questions, add commentary, as well as sort of voice your opinion about the item. And when discussion is closed, when there's no more raised hands, I'll ask, is there anyone who has anything new to add? And if no, we'll move into voting, where I'll ask all those in favor, please say aye and raise your hand. And then we'll do the same for opposed and abstention. Abstention is the refusal to vote. It doesn't count for or against the motion. A simple majority is required for the motion to pass. It's everyone following. I'm not seeing any confused faces right now. If discussion is going quiet or people are saying the same sort of things over and over again, I may call on someone new that doesn't have their hand raised, or I may proceed into voting. So, y'all about to have it open? Yeah. No, that's fine. But in order to speak, you must always raise your hand. You have to be recognized. I have to call on you. You can make amendments to the motion if necessary. And if you want to do that, Bill will help you.
Okay, I'm just going to bring up how the entire project committee. So it has come to my attention that one of the buildings does not have a bike rack. And we're trying to promote biking on campus with the Savannah's bike share thing that she came up with. I forgot the name of it. I'm so nervous now. I apologize. Venmo Ride. Vito Ride. That was an app.
You got this, Emily. I got this.
So, sorry. Okay, good job. So I already introduced myself. I'm Tina Williams. Why? So I was in a class and there's these bikes. So there's these bikes just leaning on the railing and on the sidewalk. this causes some hazards. First of all, there's tripping hazards. Somebody could fall and get hurt. Then if they fall and get hurt, there's a potential that they can have the school give them money for it. Also, it's a fire hazard. If an emergency happens, students and faculty are gonna have to be able to get out of the building as fast and quickly as possible. And with the bikes in the way, they might not do that. Also, it may expect some delays in maintenance. If you go back to the photo, you can see there's maintenance people trying to fix stuff. If the bikes are in the way, how are they supposed to fix stuff? And a lot of people, they're smart and they lock up their bikes so that it doesn't get stolen. That makes it even harder for maintenance people because they can't move the bike. So the maintenance gets delayed. And then as I was talking to Josh earlier today, it is also not in compliance with ADA, American Disability Act, because these bikes keep people in wheelchairs and scooters and crutches and that sort of thing from crossing. So it is a big issue. Location. Where is this? If you look at the ART, I drew a little black circle. That is where the bike rack is going to be put. Here's the exact spot on where the bike rack is going to be put. I talked with Andrew. He's one of the head for facilities. And this spot is perfect for a bike rack. There's no lines going underneath it, no water stuff, no electricity running underneath it. So it's perfect to put in the bike rack so that it doesn't harm anything on campus. So the price, it is really expensive, and I get that. And if you can already tell, we have $4,000 in our budget, and I'm asking for $2,200. It's a lot of money, but we don't expect to spend this much. Andrew just wants that much in case something happens, stuff gets delayed, just that sort of thing, so that he has some wiggle room. And then it's $700 for the bike rack, and then $1,500 for the concrete. You're probably wondering, why do you need concrete for a bike rack? This is just so that they can secure the bike rack in that area so that it doesn't move or get stolen. I don't know who would steal a bike rack, but apparently sometimes it happens. So they have to pour concrete. The concrete person, if you're into keeping having Tyler people do it, it is a local contractor. So there is that benefit that we're helping out the community by giving them jobs and that sort of thing. Next slide. Who would this benefit? First of all, it would benefit students. No matter if you don't have a major that's in that particular building, you still might go to that building. For my sorority that I'm in, we go to that building for practice. So even though I'm not an art major, I still use that building. Also, it helps staff and faculty out with the fire drills and that sort of thing. If you have noticed, the school has been doing fire drills, and this has been causing an issue with people getting out of the building in time that they're safe. Also, people visiting campus. I don't know if y'all remember your tours, but they try to make the campus really pretty. And if I came to UT Tyler on a tour and saw just bikes hanging out on the side, I would be like, that's weird. Why didn't the school have a bike rack? The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because this is a serious issue. Somebody could get hurt. Somebody could maybe not be able to make it to class because they can't get through. And also it makes maintenance run slower. One of the benefits that we have as SGA is to help out our fellow students and our constituents. With this, I feel like it would really help out our entire student body and our teachers and facilitators. And along with the pouring in concrete, I have spoke with Andrew, and he said that there is a possibility of having an SGA plaque right by the bike rack, so then that promotes student government, and then people will see that we are on campus and we're actually doing it. Is there any questions?
Have we looked at places where there's already concrete we could put in a bike rack, even if it's not in the exact location that we want, but near the building, maybe on the other side of the building? That I just feel like that's a lot of money towards going to pouring in concrete when there's concrete everywhere.
I get that. I actually brought that up to Andrew, and they would have to fully take out that slab and then pour in a new slab of concrete. So it would be more expensive to do it that way. And also they would have to widen the concrete slab, which could bring in issues about lines running underneath the campus that we just don't see on the surface.
That's good. Just to offer some clarification, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, but I'm guessing they are putting the bike rack in the concrete.
Mhm.
Is that correct? Okay, so you have to put it in there so that it goes in concrete. So like concrete that's already there and hardened and the bike rack in it. And then also like if you have like a sidewalk or something, there you can put it that way. We still have to comply with ADA. And so there's like certain areas that they like certain distances like clear. So then that would have to be part of that.
I think the bike rack is an idea that I've heard from students say that it would be useful, especially in that area. I do wonder, is there a way to potentially set the bike rack in a smaller piece of concrete and fill the surrounding area and like crush granite or something, just so the slab is smaller and you get a bit of money? Or is the slab covering the entire distance?
The slab will be the entire distance of the bike rack. They just want that to like look uniform on campus, like all the other bike racks. It's going to be the exact same as all the other bike racks. So they just want it to like look the same, I guess, for aesthetic reasons. I don't know.
Sorry, Senator Floyd.
I was just wondering how much it costs.
1,800.
Senator Johnson.
What is the bike rack? There's several bike racks.
It's going to be the loopy, the 7
Do you have a picture of us?
I do not. My camera was being done on my phone. It wouldn't let me take a photo, but it's just like the one that Treasurer McLeod put in. It's the 7. Yes, that one. Thank you. I should have just pulled one off Google. I didn't think that. I apologize. That one, the loopy loop. But we're actually getting the same brand, which is a better brand than that one. So that's why there's like a price difference. Oh, and also the facility people will maintain it, so we do not have to pay to maintain. I can't talk. I apologize.
And then Rosa, you have your hand. All right. Senator Hendricks.
So as far as the bike rack first state,
The concrete actually makes it last longer. So if you, I didn't know this before, but whenever it floods, the ground kind of moves a little bit, so the bike rack could sink a little. So with it being in concrete, it won't sink and it will actually be there 20 plus years versus it not being in concrete, which could only last 10.
but if you say that we were doing
This is the only way that they look and pay to for us.
Parliamentarian Copeland.
There are some bike racks on campus that don't have concrete, but those are a hazard to like maintenance areas when they do come in to mow around them or to work around them. They are hazards to them, so for their safety, we will have concrete.
Senator Johnson. Engineering.
To go back to Senator Hendricks, the concrete issue, why can't people do the
They want it done their way. They're very particular. Apparently, you have to get like stuff approved through campus, and this way it's already approved so that we can install it.
All righty.
Could we go back to the picture with the bikes on the ground? Would it be an option to put the bikes on the grass side and lock them up on the handrails?
No, because if you see the draining system, whenever it rains, everything collects in there, so the bikes like would rust and they wouldn't be like bumped. And then also I asked if we could just put the bike rack in the center area, and apparently there's like pipes coming through that we can't fit.
Vice President.
I'll also offer clarification for that. If you haven't had a class at the Fine Arts Complex, which is what that is, that is actually like inside. It's like an open air kind of complex, and that is on the inside. So all of the classrooms, like the window that you see behind the guy on the ladder, that's actually a lecture hall. So having those anywhere in that whole area is just kind of in the way, no matter where you put them. But then also another thing that I wanted to add was, so I have a membership with Beto Ride, and I ride them like 4 times a day. Love it. And there's not enough place, so you can only park them at approved bike racks for those of you who haven't rode them. Ridden there? Can you tell me? Ridden? Rode? It was right the first time. So if you haven't rode them, you have to stop, you have to park them and walk them at approved bike racks all the time keep running. And there's not one anywhere close to this building. So if you don't live, like for me, I don't live at the class down here. So if I ride a bike down there, I have to hope that someone's coming out of P so I can bike in there and park in there. But if nobody is coming in and out or out of P, I can't get in there and I can't park the bike. So I'm just going to have to like ride it back to the library and then walk the rest of the way, and it just kind of wastes time and effort. So for students who, I realize it's probably a small population, but that's just another aspect of how it could be, because we've already talked to Ms. Thompson about that bike rack approved as a trailer ride.
Senator Cunningham.
My part of my question related to that, it would be definitely a plus to have a designated spot, especially at that building. But my second question would be, is it possible to bike rack out livable?
They don't want to do that because that could possibly damage the building, and if they want to have it moved, they would have to fix the wall. So they just would rather have it be like a central area on the ground.
Senator Cole.
With the
14. It's on the 70.
Senator Morrison.
The street.
It's across.
It's TV. Okay. You see where this circle is? This is TV. This is where the bike rack is. Circle. So like it's gonna face the street.
Right. So that parking lot there is like.
Yes. Yeah. So in theory, if you wanted to go to a baseball or softball game, you can park your bike over there and have a short little walk.
That was my point. The whole. We're gonna ride bike over to 14. So don't worry about it. Just.
Senator Hendricks.
Well, since it's so expensive, we could in theory get more bike racks, but our budget doesn't have us.
I was gonna say. I don't know if we could, have this question.
Part of the dilemma that the facility people are having is that there's not very many spots on campus. They can put a bike rack there, but there's not already one there due to how the plumbing works and all the wires and that.
So are the bike racks made of stainless steel or recycled plastic?
I do not know the answer. Stainless steel. They're just like the other.
So instead of stainless steel, we can use recycled plastic ones, which are way cheaper than the stainless steel ones. That will bring the cost down.
Well, the company has to be approved by the university.
Yeah.
So this company is already approved. So that process gets shortened by a lot. Going and approving, that is a possibility, but it would take months and months versus 2 months. And they will be maintained by the school, so we wouldn't really have to do after purchase it.
Thank you. And discussion. Senator Handy. Well, I'm not allowed to participate in conversation, but they certainly can.
You want everybody? Okay. Well, this is kind of an idea that I had because I have a class. So it was like, there's not a bike rack down here, and I actually took that picture on the slide. So it's a very obvious need for me because I'm down there like every other day. But there's a clear need for one. I think that we have the budget line there to be used. And if we decide that there is a clear need for it, I don't see why we wouldn't use that money if there for us to use. We also have a plaque there with a SGA logo on it that she's mentioned the last 20 plus years. So that's something that's going to have a lot of impact on students and something that's going to have SGA legacy there for a long time. But I can't really see anything negative about it.
I think that's a good idea. You don't know, when I was a senator, this project, bike rack arms, and I like this idea because it's being isolated very well, and I'm glad you put it other than at the farms building, the library, and now the complex, and the baseball field and softball field. It's not very accessible. I think today we also have $4,000, so we don't have very many center projects. So I was 5, and it's going to go the amount we can tonight. So I mean, the benefits also, especially already towards people art.
So I love the project. I think it's going to benefit a lot of people, especially with the new VIA rides on campus. A lot of people are using more bikes. This covers not only PV, but the Fine Arts Complex, but also the sports stadium, which are very busy, especially with Controls coming up. I think that it is a very long trek or hike from like Harvey Lake all the way down there, or even from O-Hall, for people that do have to use them. There's not a lot of parking there for people that do drive, so the bikes are very accessible and very easy to use. One thing is cost though, but we can go under. And normally, especially last fiscal year, I guess you could say, we didn't spend the money until the very last meeting, and that was kind of stressful, very stressful. And so I'm glad to see the initiative this early in the season, and I'm excited to see what else.
I think it's a great idea. I know for you senators, you don't know, but I did a project last year where we put 2 water bottle refilling stations in the library on the most popular floors. Those were $1,000. So these senator projects are not inexpensive. You're not going to find one. Yes, this might use over half of our funds for senator projects, but like they all said, we don't get that many. It's hard to find things Tyler needs for a great campus. But I honestly think it's great in the initiative at our third meeting. I mean, that's pretty good. But please do not vote yes. Vote yes. Don't know what to vote.
Now, before I call on Senator Morrison, waiting for patient, thankful. Our wonderful parliamentarian did clarify that I am allowed to present a fact or background information without taking a position. And I know a question that may not have come up, but a question that I initially had and got more information on is why facilities has not put a bike rack here already, if there's clearly a need. Facilities has to operate under specific criteria for bike racks that they install and pay for. This location doesn't meet that criteria, and that's why I believe we can put this initiative, but that's just to answer that question. Senator Morrison.
I think everybody's
Second. Yeah. All right. So we'll move into voting procedure, and all those in favor of approving the Senator project that's been presented, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Thank you. That has been passed. All right. So we'll get back to the agenda, please. Thank you. Is there any other new business? A question? Sure.
I'm Senator for College of Engineering, but do I just need to just focus on College of Engineering, or could I focus on anything else?
Anything? Yes, but we can talk about it in more depth after.
Yes.
But yes, in short, yes. Okay, any other new business? Why? All right. Advisor comments. If y'all didn't notice, we have a special guest in the back of the room. This is Sean Rogers. He works in the Veterans Resource Center. He was also a senator when he went to school here. He's an alumni. He's standing in for Josh this evening, so I'm fairly certain.
Been out of the office the last few days.
All right, thank you. And then, are there any announcements?
Yeah, so just one last time, you really gotta drill it in your heads because it's important. New senators and senators that did not get a t-shirt already, go to student affairs tomorrow before 4 o'clock and get a Rock the Vote t-shirt and lunch. They're in their office. Literally all you have to do is go in there and ask her for one. She's gonna ask you to register to vote, but that's the only qualification. And wear them tomorrow. Do not forget your name tags. Be at Harvey Deck 345. And we'll kind of delegate from there.
All right. So, Secretary Seeley, would you please dispense second roll call? Here.
Vice President. Here. Treasurer McLeod. Here. Parliamentarian Whitlam.
Here.
Senator Mead. Senator Burr. Senator Stefano. Here. Say it. Stavno. Right? No. Senator Bears.
She went.
Okay. Senator here. Senator Armstrong.
Here.
Senator Daniel.
Here.
Senator here. Senator Ivey. Here. Senator Cobb.
Here.
Senator Simonini.
Here.
Is that right?
Simonini, yeah.
Simonini. Senator Floyd. Here. Senator Med.
Here.
Is that right? Okay. Senator Pano. Got it. Senator Johnson. Here. Senator Kaufman. Here. Senator Hendrick.
Here.
Senator Camarillo.
Here.
Senator Johnson. Senator Williams. Here. Senator Abernathy. Here. Senator Cardenas.
Here.
Is that right? Senator Khan.
Here.
Senator Mendez. Senator Mosley.
Here.
Senator Chambers. Senator Cooper. Here. Senator Duwad.
Here.
Senator Morrison.
Here.
Senator Cole. Here. Senator Panther.
Here.
Senator Farouk. Senator Navarone.
Here.
Senator Adams. Senator Schenkel.
Here.
Senator Aguilar.
All right. Senator Morrison. All right. Yeah. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, meeting is adjourned. Sorry, I always forget that I have to do the vote on that one. I feel like it's a given at the end of the meeting. Okay, got it.